Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Stand in line for your fix. DeMarcus and Marcus in the mix, serving you yet another round of fish and grits. January 24th, 2017. How you doing today, my man?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself, sir?
Man, can't complain late nights, but hey, it's all worth it. We still had to give our people a lit episode, no matter what time of the day it is. But we're gonna kick it off with the freshly squeezed news of the day, some sad news. The World Star founder Q has been found dead at the tender age of 43. You know, it started off in 2005. He was giving up and coming artists a viral platform, funny ass videos, eye grabbing videos also. World Star was that rare combination you see of a brand and also a popular catchphrase, because once you hear World Star, like, oh shit, so I'm going down. And it's crazy that he passed away in his sleep. Like I said, 43 years of age. They saying it was a heart attack, but he also was in the process of trying to drop some weight. But you can always see how dangerous it is. Some people, you can actually overwork yourself trying to force yourself to lose weight. So I hope this is also a message to the black community that, hey, I know you want to drop your weight, but sometimes you got to take it slow. Don't overwork yourself, because our health is the most important thing to us.
That's so true, man, because that's the thing that's plagued the African-American population over the male population over the past, 50 plus years. The thing that we don't eat right. Mm-hmm. We also don't exercise correctly. I myself am lazy at times, but I need to do better in the new coming year. But yeah, like you said, it is sad that he died and the way he died. But the thing about it that I like about World Star, and I don't know if it's going to continue to go on without him running it. But the thing I liked about World Star was it was always a sense of entertainment. It kind of created the internet video atmosphere that you see on Facebook or Instagram, like little short clips and things of that nature, of things that's funny or things that's crazy. And he kind of started that trend, and it's amazing how it's really implemented into our generation, honestly, because that's something that we are known for, to make a lot of people try to get famous off those short clips, because you kind of people start resembling you and knowing who you are, and you get a peek into someone's life. And World Star started that, and it's gonna be sad that he's gone, but I think they're probably gonna keep it rolling without him.
It's like they should be able to. I just don't know if he envisioned that World Star would be this big back when he started in 2005, because it wasn't a lot of sites back then that did what he did. It was very unique, and like I said, just giving anybody, not even just artists, just anybody that platform to become viral. All you gotta do is just say World Star in the video, and bam, you most likely gonna be on the site. But it's a huge loss in the African American community, only because of what he was able to do from a social media standpoint. It was never done before. It was trend setting, and my hat's off to him and his entire family. But I hope that World Star do continue to live through his vision that he created when he first made this. And that's the thing that a lot of companies don't do. Like when their owner leaves, now they want to change everything to how they want it to happen. No, don't do that. I hope he had some kind of will or something that just stated to them exactly what he wanted to be done with this company.
Man, that's true. But the thing about that, I started watching World Star because it started getting too over the top with a lot of its videos that, people were capturing moments that I feel like are too private and making them too public. There's like Aaron Rodgers talked about this in the interview, I want to say a few weeks ago, when, he's had the whole fiasco that's going on with his family. But he says, when is your privacy not your privacy anymore? People are peeking into people's life where you have to constantly be on watch. And that's the thing that I don't like about the whole new social media trend, the way it's going. There's nothing secret anymore. Nothing's hidden, everybody knows everything about everyone. And it's crazy that how that's the world we living in. And World Star really started a lot of that, and it got kind of carried away. But the thing that I like, and I'm going to remember more about
TMZ. That's the company that took it over the top. TMZ is, oh my goodness.
Well, that's true, but I'm talking about like TMZ covered basically TMZ would cover the celebrities, the people that we know. But I'm talking about for World Star, it was just like maybe you on a train and maybe you did something that was embarrassing. 9 times out of 10, someone captured it on their phone and they put it on World Star to put you on blast. But it's like you thought that was a private thing that it happened until these control. It happened. This funny thing happened in this control environment by these people that I'm probably not gonna see anymore. But now it's viral and everybody sees it. It's like nothing's private anymore. But the thing I like so much about World Star was it gave a voice to those up and coming artists that didn't have money for the MTV Jams or MTV Main program or BET 106 Park and things like that. And it gave them an avenue to put their work out there for people to see, because everybody would be checking for the latest videos. What's the newest, what video got the most views, because nobody wants to be behind. So I like that it gave a lot of artists different avenues and to get their name out there and get that independent game really blowing up.
Exactly. I'm sure it's a lot of people out there in this world that owe a lot to Q of what he did for them just by giving them that platform.
Man, where's one person in particular, that Bobby Shmurda dude? He was really blew up off that because I remember it was my cousin told me, he said, "Man, you seen that new World Star video, that Shmoney dance?" And I was like, "What is this?" And I would have to go to World Star and see it. And look, it blew up.
Man, it was all good a week ago. Well, it was all good 11 years ago when Kobe was throwing up 81 points, and you look this past Sunday, the Lakers couldn't even get past 79. That's pretty sad. But we just look into the numbers of that 81-point game. I mean, you were down by 18 in the second half already. Had to put up 55 points on your own, 28 made field goals off 46 shots. He shot 60% from the field. 18 free throws. Only made 7 threes, so he did a lot of damage from the 2-point line. But when you look at Kobe's numbers and you compare it to the players of today's NBA game, who can you see putting up 81 points or possibly even more points?
There's one person in particular, but let me touch on that Kobe Bryant game. What's so important about that Kobe Bryant game is that game happened in January 22nd, 2006. And then of January 22nd, 2017, the Lakers lose. And the fact that in today's game, where most teams average at least 99 points or above, for the combined 73 points the whole game. That's ridiculous that Kobe Bryant in 2006 outscored his whole team. And the thing that's crazy about it, they both made 28 shots.
And they took 25 more shots.
And they took 25 more shots. And the thing that always impressed me, the thing that depresses me is that the Lakers were always a franchise that was never had a lot of lows. Because let's be honest, we're gonna call 2005, 2006, 2007 the Laker years where Kobe flourished as a star. It was a post-Shaq era. The Lakers did not struggle when Kobe. You never saw down years for the Lakers, but now all of a sudden you see the down years of the Lakers, and you don't know if they're gonna get it to going on because they're in the bottom of the Western Conference. It's not like you got blown out by the Warriors, the Cavs, the Rockets, Memphis, the Clippers. You got blown out by the Mavericks, who's not good this year. Yeah. You got beat by a franchise worst, 49 points. That's embarrassing. And you as an organization and as a team should be embarrassed that you diminished the whole Laker legacy in basically 3 years. You overspent on Kobe, but Kobe deserved that money for the hard work he put in all those years. But then on top of that, you don't develop a team chemistry. You just grab people from anywhere trying to fill the void to be relevant instead of trying to build a team up, instead of just throwing pieces together. And it's embarrassing that the Lakers legacy is going to be on a struggle for the next coming years, because even if the Lakers were to get a good team and start getting some good pieces, do you really see them competing in the West against Harden still is going to be there, Westbrook still going to be there, Curry still going to be draining threes?
And Greg Pop, he can easily get another star or two. Just any star that can buy into his system. And Kawhi Leonard is only getting better.
Yeah, man, the Spurs are on fire. And another thing I want to say that's embarrassing about the Lakers. Everybody saw that the Cavaliers lost to the Pelicans without Anthony Davis.
Terrence Jones.
The Pelicans scored 70 points in the first half, and y'all couldn't score that They scored 73 the whole game. That's embarrassing to me. They are embarrassing of a team. They are the worst franchise. They are the worst team in the league right now. I put them under the Brooklyn Nets. I put them under 76ers, not even trash anymore, in my opinion. I put them under the Kings. I put them under the Suns. It's terrible.
Yeah, they're the worst team when you just think about it. They have no team chemistry. It seems like they got a lot of talent, but they just not meshing. I don't know if Luke Walton answered, but you still got to give them a little bit more time. They clearly are in their down years right now. You just never really seen it from a Lakers team. So it's just weird to even talk about. But I think they can eventually bounce back, but it's not that free agent market that it used to be back in the early 2000s or even in the early 2010s, you know, because you can still get someone that wanted to play with Kobe. You can still possibly trade for a Chris Paul, even though that got revoked. You can almost get Dwight Howard to resign. You can get Paul Gasol to stay. You can't do that right now. You can't get a star to go to LA and be content with the team because they don't have a lot of talent around them. They got a lot of young players that need to mature, but they can be good NBA players if given the right situation and if given the right veterans that can come around and want to see this team succeed. I think one of their best pickups was Luol Deng. Even though he is past his prime a little bit, you need to bring in those type of veterans, you know, somebody that's been through the ringer a little bit with Chicago, had decent success with that Miami team last year. That was a good pickup, but you need to bring in maybe like 3 or 4 more Luol Dengs, but I don't see that possible in today's NBA.
That's true. And then I know you asked that question earlier, who in today's game can, I guess, can put up an 81 game performance or something at high scoring like that. In today's NBA, there's not a lot of ISO. There's a lot of ISO ball, but there's not a lot of I'm not going to say Kobe was selfish basketball. He was more dependable basketball. You don't have a team. You don't have a lot of teams that are.
It's hard to get 46 shots.
No team is really right now in today's NBA is solely dependent on one person to do everything like the Lakers were in that post-Shaq era because the Lakers didn't have anything after Shaq and then Kobe kind of took them on their back. But there's only a few teams and the person that I think and the person I'm pretty sure that you're going to say is going to be Westbrook. And I'm going to tell you why. He's the only person that resembles the ferociousness of Kobe and the willing to attack at all minutes of the game. And the thing about Westbrook is a carbon copy of Kobe Bryant, but the only thing that's different between them two is when Kobe was pulling up, I always thought Kobe was going to make it. When Westbrook pulls up, I don't always feel like he's going to make it or he's going to, you can feel like you get more mistakes with him than you got with Kobe. And the reason why I say Westbrook is not because he's just an offensive weapon out there, but let Steven Adams or Oladipo both go down. They have nobody really, and I can see Westbrook just dominating the ball and having to score to keep his team down because a lot of people say that OKC should tank so Westbrook can get somebody through the draft to help him out. But the mind mentality of Westbrook is always that all I need up, and we could beat any team in the playoffs in any series. I can give you 4 games, 4 games, but that's the thing. You need to not have a mentality so you can go through the draft because I don't think nobody really wants to come to OKC because of a small market town, but he's the only person in my mind that I feel like can put up an 81 point game.
Okay, I can agree with that. I actually had 2 players in mind. The first one going to seem kind of strange, but the first one was Klay Thompson. And that's only because if he was to get hot, he can go on a scoring streak like that, but it wouldn't be able to be with Durant and Curry in the lineup because I just don't see no way possible with him putting up 40 shots with them in the lineup. But I feel like if anybody in the NBA can get hot enough to score 81 points, it has to be the man that scored 37 in one quarter. But it's going to take the right situation, right game, weak defense for him to do that. But the player that I feel that can actually do it is Isaiah Thomas because he has the most volume on Boston when it comes to shot taking, and he has the green light. You're right. We already seen him put up 52 points off 26 shots. That's very efficient. He did it making 9 3-pointers, and he only shot 13 threes. So if he can put up 52 when the team actually, they only won that game by 3 points, so they actually needed that. When Kobe scored his 81 points, they were down by 18. They ended up winning by 18, so he was just scoring just to score. If Isaiah didn't score 52, Boston probably loses that game. So if it comes down to a game to where, all right, it's 10 minutes left in the quarter, you already got 50, let's shoot for 30 more. He possibly can do it because he has the green light on that Boston team.
Yeah, he would need a good offense. Like, he would need a good overtime game to pull out that, because the only thing I like about Isaiah Thomas is he's also willing, unlike Westbrook, who falls on, he just seems like he falls in a triple-double, and I'm going to tell you why later on. But with Isaiah Thomas, he's always looking to distribute. But how Chris Paul, he reminds me of Chris Paul with his ball handles, the way he can go in the paint and, make that body contact to get the layup and stuff like that.
I love players that can finish, man.
He loves to distribute the ball, and you see that. Mm-hmm. If he had more consistent players, I'm pretty sure he can have, not triple doubles, but a lot of double doubles, because I can't see him get a lot of rebounds. Mm-hmm. But he distributes the ball, but because, like you said, they don't have a lot of offensive weapons, he takes on that weight with him, and he has to score. But with Westbrook, he falls in a triple double, and I'm gonna tell you why. Westbrook's first thing on his mind is to score. With Kobe Bryant, the same thing was the score. Kobe didn't always have to pass the ball, and if he passed the ball, 9 out of 10, he always thought that you weren't gonna make your shot. So he said, "I'd rather just take it." And with Westbrook, he falls in triple doubles because he benefits from how the league runs right now. This is a pick and roll league.
Yeah,
and that's where a lot of these people get triple doubles because of pick and roll, because you have Adam setting the pick, he rolls to the goal, that's an easy basket, easy assist. Or say Adam rolls to the goal and you roll with him, and then you draw another defender that's on your 3-point shooter, you dish it out. It's crazy. And a lot of teams, like back in the day, if you watch, like with Kobe and Tracy and all, they didn't run a lot of pick and roll. It was a lot of
ISO.
Draw. What'd you say?
It was a lot of ISO back then.
It was, and that's the thing about it that I like more about back then's game than now, because it's too easy to get to the score nowadays, and it ain't because people are terrible on defense. It's just you just run into too much pick and roll, which is me honestly. But yeah, Westbrook would be the only person, and I can see Isaiah doing that, but it would have to take an overtime to probably get him there.
It'll take a lot for Isaiah. But like I said, I think Clay is definitely the hottest. That has the hottest hand in the NBA. When he gets on fire, it's like nobody can outshoot Clay. But he has to find that stroke, and it has to be on a great day.
Yeah, that's true. The sun got to be shining for him to hit that one.
Let me give you a starting 5 real quick. Kyrie Irving, Dwayne Wade, Ray Allen, Chris Bosh, Kevin Love. Those starting 5 that I just named were LeBron teammates over the past 6 years. And this is the same player that's begging his owners and GM that I need more playmakers. When you've been given this amount of talent over a 6-year stretch, it's players in the NBA that would kill just for 1 or 2 of these players to have on their team. And you've been giving them, along with a solid amount of role players, when you talk about Haslam, Mike Miller, Mario Chalmers, Dellavedova, Rashard Lewis, Richard Jefferson, just a plethora of role players, along with all-star caliber talent, and you still want more. And we automatically give him, well, I don't know about you, but me, myself, I give him the reign as being the best player in the NBA because he does it on both sides. He's out there 35-plus minutes. He's giving it his all sometimes. It is sometimes where I look at LeBron, it don't look like he's giving his all. And I go back to the San Antonio game that we recently talked about over the weekend, where he didn't look as engaged for about a 2 to 3 minute stretch, but then he hits a clutch 3 to tie the game, but then he takes a lackadaisical 3 and forces overtime, which they end up losing. And a lot of these games recently have come down to turnovers at the end. But who's turning the ball over in these key situations? It's LeBron. So how are you begging for them to bring in another playmaker when you should be the best playmaker in the game and you're not making those plays? How do you want somebody else to come in and take in the role that you've been providing over the last 6 years of your career as the primary playmaker on your team?
What blows my mind about LeBron James is he said this: when you look over his shoulder and there's a man named Kyrie Irving who just popped off for 18 points in the fourth quarter, 49 points the whole game, and you complain that you need more help. Why do you need more help when that man just scored 49 points? And you just had a triple-double, and you talking about you need more help. The thing about LeBron James LeBron James is always going to have a diva moment. He's always going to have a moment where you look at LeBron and he's talked about. Remember, he talked about the whole Kevin Love fitting in, fitting out. The whole thing with Kyrie. Is this Kyrie's team or is this LeBron's team? And you had his mini drama moments with the Heat. And the thing about LeBron is he's not worried about the East. He's not worried about any of the teams in the East. He knows automatically day one when the season starts, we're going to the finals. That's just how it goes. The East is soft right now. The thing that LeBron is looking at the West, and I'm gonna tell you why he's looking at the West. He said he needs more playmakers because if he goes sit down, or Kyrie gets hurt, or Kevin Love gets hurt, it's all on him, and he doesn't have enough energy to carry his team 4 games, beating a Western Conference team 4 times. He knows if he's going to go, if they have a 12-point lead and he happens to get his breath together and he wants to sit on the sideline and collect himself, he knows his team will let whoever they're playing back in the game because they have no bench depth. You wanted these players and your salary cap is so high. I think they're the highest. They spend the most money.
Yeah.
And you have Kevin Love who's demanding all this money. Kyrie, JR, Tristan Thompson, that's 5 people. You're left with scraps on the bench. And you look at the West. That's why I told you, and me and you had this discussion. We said, the Cavaliers' record looks good right now, but guess what? They've only played the Eastern Conference team this first half. They're playing a whole bunch of Western Conference. Ever since they start playing the Western Conference team, what are the Cavaliers in the past 7 games? 2-5. That's terrible. And he knows that their record is going to keep going down and down and down because the West comes with it day in and day out. You don't have just 2 people to worry about in the Western Conference, like on the Western Conference team. You have 5 or 6 or 7 people that you have to worry about going off on any of the top 8 teams. And the thing about that is if he knows he makes it to the finals and he has to play the Warriors, the Rockets, the Clippers, the Spurs, Memphis, any of those teams, he knows his team may not beat them. And that's why he's bitching and complaining right now.
No doubt. And even when you talk about the playoffs, it's almost a guarantee that the Cavs going to sweep, if not the first 2, at least the first opponent. And then you look just last year, 1 versus 8, the Rockets was the 8 seed. We at least pulled a game out. We didn't have a chance in hell in that series, but at least we competed and won a single game. You don't get that kind of competition in the East. They're going to lay down. They're going to let him cruise to the Eastern Conference Finals. That may go 5 or 6. Last year, I believe it went 6 until Toronto just completely broke down. They just decided not to guard him toward the end. But, yeah, he wouldn't make it in the West, not with the team that he has. And look at Kevin Love. Kevin Love missed a wide-open 3 that could have tied the game up against the Spurs. That's wide open 3.
Talking about the playoffs, the thing that I like about with the Eastern Conference team, they're more of a cakewalk league, but there's a lot of opportunity on a lot of these teams. And I'm gonna be honest with you, looking forward at the Eastern Conference team after a lot of these young players on these Eastern Conference teams get older, it's gonna be kind of hard for an older LeBron to easily get to the number 1 seed. You have the Celtics who can make some moves with their draft picks. The Wizards are really, really hot. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to throw this in here. That
team leans on Otto Porter. I talked about Otto Porter a few years ago. I said, if he develops into anything, this team can be dangerous.
That's true. But think about this. Frank Vogel really changed that whole team around and starting to make them more consistent. They struggled in the beginning of the year because it's new coach. You got to get acclimated with your team. But now that they had that time in this past, they're hot right now. They're in the 5th seed, and going into next year, if they make a little bit of free agent moves, they can really be a dangerous team. And I want to talk about the Pacers this is why they should never got rid of Frank Vogel. He is such a great coach that the Pacers shouldn't have given up on him so easily just because they weren't going to the Eastern Conference Finals or they weren't advancing very, very far because they had a lot of injuries, but they don't ever really take that into consideration. That's why I criticize Larry Bird sometimes on his decision making and the choices he's made. But going forward, like I was talking about earlier, you have Milwaukee's that can get older and they don't have a really lot of talent that they can really challenge the Cavaliers going forward. But the Cavaliers' biggest team that they have to worry about is the Milwaukee Bucks, because that team, with another 2 more years, they're going to be dangerous.
I think they're dangerous right now. I don't know if they're worthy of winning an actual playoff battle, but night in, night out, Greek Freak is a problem. And it's something and Jabari Parker's only getting better. Like I say, you're starting to see that confidence that he had during his rookie year before he got hurt, and now it's coming into a player that's already NBA ready. Like we had this conversation previously. He was already an NBA made player who just needed to develop against NBA players. And I mean, like, his body getting a little bit more muscle on him, because he was playing a power forward position. And he was very thin his rookie year. He was no more than like 215 trying to go up against the likes of Anthony Davis on the other side, or even a Draymond Green. They're going to easily outmuscle him. So now that he's adding a little bit of muscle to his frame, he's going to be a beast to be reckoned with down in that paint for the Eastern Conference for the next 5 to 10 years as he develops his game.
And then you got Chris Middleton, who's been hurt. Him coming back, he was their lead scorer last year. And then you said Jabari Parker. What if they got like a DJ Augustine in the offseason to come in as a backup point guard or something like that? That's what I think they need to address, because Dellavedova, they kind of was shooting for the stars with Dellavedova. They wanted defense.
They had the salary cap, though, so it's hard because it's not a lot of people that's lining up to go to Milwaukee.
They will be now.
We've seen more stars in the past leave Milwaukee than try to go there. I mean, they went through the likes of Ray Allen, Big Dog Glenn Robinson. They had Steven Jackson for a short amount of time. Is Monte Ellis still there? He was there before. But
he with the Pacers.
Yeah, he's with the Pacers now. So you've seen a lot of stars, not even just stars, just a lot of solid players go to Milwaukee and just leave as soon as they can. Yep, exactly. So
what your boy Larry Sanders, remember he retired from the Bad Boys out of nowhere.
Starts tripping. He was really tripping. But yeah, man, it's gonna be a lot of teams that'll be able to compete with LeBron. I think that's why he's so adamant on trying to get an additional playmaker. Like the conversation we had a little earlier, I think Chris Paul is really the go-to player that they really want to have on his roster. And I think he would be the one of all the Asian veterans in the NBA. I think he would be the one that would accept a role on the bench more than possibly a Carmelo Anthony would, because Chris Paul wants to win. And also, as the president of the NBA, he wants to at least have some type of rings for when he does retire, to have that resume like, all right, I was NBA president for X amount of years. I got a championship. I'm top 10 in assists. You just want to be able to cap that Hall of Fame career off with a championship. I think the best way that he can get it is getting out the West, going to the East, where they already going to be top heavy with the LeBron team, and riding on that bench and coming off the bench and bring that explosiveness that you need from a playmaker.
Man, and then, I mean, that would be a good trade, but there's a trade I heard that's floating around in the air. And they talking about Melo may go to the Cavs for Kevin Love. I heard that rumor. And then I also heard the rumor of the Knicks going for like Blake Griffin. The Knicks don't know what the hell they want to do. Because let me be honest with you.
Porzingis and Blake?
Porzingis, and you run and go get Blake Griffin. They both play the power forward position. You really think you could really go somewhere with Blake Griffin and Porzingis on the court at the same time? That's one thing. Number two, you're going to give a Carmelo, you're going to get injury-prone Kevin Love, who's no longer, I want to say the quote on 24 and 15 that he was in Minnesota.
Look at the record now. Look at that record they had in Minnesota. They was going like 5 and 20s at some stretch in the season. Like that's what I'm just like. I don't understand what the Knicks are trying to do. I don't understand the moves he's trying to make. What you said about Chris Paul is
That would be great for the Cavs because he'll have his playmaker. He'll have somebody that's really going to make B players look like A players. But I don't think
he'll be like the A-team version of what Matthew Dellavedova was. The A-team version.
But I'm gonna be honest with you. the backlash Chris Paul would get would really put an asterisk next to them if they won a title or something like that. Same with Kevin Durant.
He already got fucked out of going to the Lakers. I don't think he'd care at this point. They forced him to go to the Clippers. Like the NBA forced him to go to the poor team in LA.
Chris Paul should be happy he didn't go to the Lakers. Look how trash the Lakers are. You think they would have been better? The Lakers, he would have went to the Lakers.
He at least would have had Kobe and not JJ Redick for all these years.
You would have had, he would have had a hurt Kobe who ended up getting hurt for both of them years. Then he would have had Dwight Howard, who's a crybaby, and you know how he's going to pout. And then you have a whole bunch of no names, and you have Ron Artest, spotting up for 3 every now and then. They didn't really have no talent. And I personally glad that he went to the Clippers because I think he had more success in the long term because of that. Because he can look at it as like, maybe
it don't seem mediocre to you though. I don't see the success that everybody else sees with the Clippers.
Well, I'm gonna give you this. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why they're having I consider this success because if he went to the Lakers, they would have depended on Chris Paul more. And they probably would have end up being how he was with that New Orleans team. They had okay talent around, but he couldn't go nowhere because there's no other star. I don't consider Dwight Howard being with Chris Paul doing anything special, or Kobe Bryant, who ended up getting hurt, being anything special. But when he went to the Clippers, he kind of developed Blake Griffin. He kind of developed DeAndre Jordan. The only thing about the Clippers is it's always a black cat in the room for some odd reason that they always get hurt or they don't eat well or something like that. It just happens. Sometimes you have teams that just have bad luck. Like me and you said earlier, or what we were discussing earlier, like the Kings. The Kings were a great team back in the day, but guess what? They just had bad luck that, the Lakers was on top of the game. Same with the Clippers. The Clippers just have bad breaks sometimes. That, that debacle that happened with the Rockets. No one in their right mind saw that comeback happening or the Rockets capturing that series. Sometimes things just happen. And I don't consider him going to the Clippers a failure. I just think is some people just will never get a ring despite doing the moves that look right and that 9 times out of 10 are right. So I just think that's how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you just lucky and you just win, but sometimes it's just not your. Like, look at the Nets back in the day when they had Jason Kidd, Vince Carter. They had a great team, but guess what? He just could never get a ring. Guess what? Jason Kidd lucked in and got with the Mavericks and got his ring. Vince Carter didn't get luck out, but Vince Carter was always productive. He's been the most productive of those 3 over the past 20 years. I'm talking about of now, but he just didn't get his share. But things just break bad for certain people.
Yeah, it's just bad breaks in the NBA. I definitely see what you mean on that, but I don't know, man. It's just a lot. It's a lot of mystery with Chris Paul's career. I feel like he could have been a lot better. I wish he was more offensive. I feel like he always shied away from the shots, and he can score. Like that's the one thing I don't understand. When Chris Paul scores like 30 or more points, his teams win like 90% of the time. This has been going back to the New Orleans days. So I just don't understand why he don't like putting the ball up in the hoop a little bit more. But
if I want to be honest with you, what if the Clippers had D'Antoni instead of the Rockets? Man, the Clippers would really be.
Hey, look,
a raw ass.
D'Antoni was in LA when they tried to get Chris Paul. So I'm sure they could have put somebody. If Chris Paul was there instead of Steve Nash and Dwight Howard, they probably could have signed Carmelo. I don't know, but they probably would have been able to bring some type of other star in. Maybe they have a shot at DeMar DeRozan if Chris Paul is still there. It's small things like that. Like we can't predict nice. Because that changed the landscape of the NBA so much, especially for the Rockets. Do you not understand? We got Paul Gasol with Marc Gasol about to be a free agent a few years down the road. Our plan was to put the Gasol brothers together down here in Houston. That was the plan. That's why we made the trade, and we didn't give up much. Well, we gave up Scola, and I can't even remember who the other player. It was nothing. We was pretty much getting a free player because of his salary cap. And we could have been building and had the stretch power for it we've been looking for the last 10 years.
And guess what? That didn't work. And I still think the Rockets need to go ahead and take a run at Millsap because I'll take on that contract and I'll take that salary hit.
It wouldn't hurt.
Just think about this.
It wouldn't hurt at all.
But Harold is balling, but you can't depend on.
He's limited offensively.
I'm gonna give Harold a B-C team type of player, but you can't depend on him to be clutch all the time.
Exactly.
Paul Millsap is right in that area where you can get the most out of him right now. This is the time to capitalize right now. If you're going to make a run at a title right now, if you feel like you really want to compete with the Warriors right now, Paul Millsap is the veteran type of power forward the Rockets need that could change everything. He could switch up the whole entire game. I'm telling you, I know Paul Millsap is only 6'9", but he plays above that. They need somebody that can bang with them boys and get the rebounds, because that's the thing that the Rockets fail on sometimes on the defensive end. They don't like to get the rebounds, and they get up a lot of offensive rebounds. We saw that when they played the Warriors. We saw that when they lost to Milwaukee last night. We saw that when they played the Raptors, or even Milwaukee the week previously when they were in Houston. They give them offensive boards, because Harold cannot always do that. No. You're relying too much on him. You need another veteran, and I'm telling you, he would fit the system right. He's like Nana. He's very quiet and reserved, but he knows how to make explosive plays and bring the energy. And I feel like that's who we should have been making a run at, honestly.
That's true, because you got to realize the downfall of Indiana happened when they let David West go. But when David West first went to Indiana as a free agent, he turned that complete team around. They got tough. They got better defensively.
Exactly.
And they knew exactly what to be. I think at this point in his career, Paul Millsap could be the David West to Indiana free agency move that the Rockets is missing from actually being a true competitor. And I'm not saying they can't compete right now, but they're not ready to beat the Spurs. Shit, not even – I don't think they can beat the Spurs more than twice in the playoff series. And I damn sure don't think we're ready to beat the Warriors at all. I mean, when the Warriors' guns are blazing, there's nothing you can do about it. And when you need so many for the Rockets to be successful in the playoffs, Eric Gordon got to get 20. Ryan Anderson got to get 20. You got to get Ariza to get 16 to 20. You got to get Pat Bev to hit a couple threes. It's so much you need to happen, because if one of those players don't do their part, you lose.
That's true. But you know who – I want to talk about this. I know we've been going long on this one. The thing that I wish the Rockets would do is Jokic. The dude with the I don't think I'm saying his name right, but whatever.
The Nuggets?
Yes, with the Nuggets.
Yeah, he's nice.
He's the type of big man the Rockets need, and I'm gonna tell you why. He's not just a big body; he's a big body that can pass. And picture James Harden going down low to him, and he's drawing two bodies, and he dish it out to the corner for an easy three. Man, I'm telling you, he's the potential that everybody saw in Dwight that we should get right now, because I believe he's on the low right now. He's doing really, really good if you really watch him, but I don't think he's going to demand that much money if we try to make a trade or try to run for him. But he's young. He's still what, second year in the league, third year in the league?
Second year in the league, second round pick.
Man, I'm telling you, he would be a great fit and not too expensive for the Rockets. That's what the Rockets really need to be looking for. They need to look for a big man or a good power forward that can play big.
Exactly. You know, down here in Houston, we are going to be having the Super Bowl 51 to be exact. It's going to be a matchup of Tom Brady versus Matt Ryan, two of the league's MVP candidates. Man, this should be an exciting battle, you know. But the one thing I do want to point out, look at the 1998 Vikings, the 2001 Rams, 2013 Broncos, even the 07 Patriots. They all led the league in offensive points per game. The Falcons lead the league in offensive points per game. The other thing those teams have in common, they all lost in the Super Bowl. That's not a good thing for the Falcons, especially a team that has never beaten Tom Brady. Tom Brady is 4-0 against the Atlanta Falcons. I still kind of feel like they have a chance only because we know they're going to take away Julio Jones like they just took away Antonio Brown. But I don't know if the Patriots have faced two running backs like this before. I know they can shut down or take away one weapon, but they both can run, they both can catch the ball, and they also have other weapons outside of Julio Jones that he can complete the pass to.
Man, the thing about that, and I love it when people say this, the thing that I love is if you are a fan of football and you're a fan of good football and you take fandom out of it, this is probably going to be the best Super Bowl that we're going to watch on the offensive side of the ball. Man, it's going to be so nice to see Tom Brady versus Matt Ryan. And the thing, you know, you're sitting up there, you said that, you know, the Patriots are going to take away Julio. the Patriots really don't face Atlanta too often. They really don't see him too often. There's a guy of the name of Julio Jones who you just said. I don't think you could take him away. You can kind of shadow coverage of your safety on him, and you can probably double cover him. But Julio's still going to get his when Julio needs to get his. He can leap over anybody. Mm-hmm. He can take the double coverage. He can outrun any of the Patriots corners because, man, 230 and running a 4-4 or 4-3 or whatever he's running, you can't beat that, and you can't constantly cover that. And the thing I have to say is I don't want to talk too much about the game because we all saw the blowout that Atlanta put on Green Bay. The same thing that me and Marcus called. We called them saying what? They're going to put a 45 and they put a what? 44? That's a good call by us. Let's go ahead and talk about this right quick. There's a guy by the name of Matt Ryan. Once again, he shows up this year with his performance. And the reason why I feel like he should win MVP is just because what you saw on Sunday. You don't throw for 4,944 yards, 38 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and not win MVP. Mm-hmm. Put up 415 total yards and 5 touchdowns against the Green Bay Packers, who everybody's been riding for the longest and not paying any attention to the Atlanta Falcons. What the Atlanta Falcons remind me of are a team that got hot at the right moment. Because right after bye week, that's when Atlanta started getting hot. And I'm talking about you start seeing Taylor Gabriel, because nobody was talking about Taylor Gabriel because he wasn't playing no snaps at the beginning of the season.
To be honest with you, I never really thought they had like a bad moment. They lost week 1 to the Bucks. They lost by 2 to the Seahawks, and that game could have went differently if they got the pass interference. Lose by 3 to the Chargers. Lose by 1 to Kansas City. The only blowout, if you want to call it a blowout, was to the Eagles at the Eagles, 24-15. That's true. That's the only close game they had all year. Other than that, they putting up 40 plus points on the regular. And then, like you just said, with this performance this weekend, this is what they've been doing all season.
They've been outscoring everybody. And the thing about everybody wants to talk about, Matt Ryan, and they want to say that, he's going to call. Matt Ryan has finally got confidence in himself. The thing about Matt Ryan, what it's always been, Matt Ryan's always been good. But the thing about him was he always made mistakes. Mm-hmm. He turned the ball over, and he also folded on the pressure. He hasn't done that all year. Even when he had to face Green Bay, when Green Bay was still the team that everybody want to call high, or he faced Seattle and he duked it out with them, or when he lost Julio, and he played the Rams, and I forgot the other team he played that he just blew out. He stayed playing consistent football, and once.
He didn't face no slouches either. Like that's the main thing. No, like we talk about the Patriots, but they pretty much did have a cakewalk of a schedule. But NFC South is tough as hell because you got Breeze twice, Cam twice, and Jameis Winston. Then you had to go out there and play the Raiders. You beat them. Had to play the Seahawks at Seahawks. Had to play the Broncos at Broncos. You beat them. You beat the Packers twice, and you beat the Cardinals. Even though they had a down year, but you still beat them.
You weren't just facing like the greatest defenses. Like, I'm not really going to just sit up there and say that he was facing hard defense and that it was going to challenge him. But the thing that was harder for Matt Ryan is he always had to outscore people. So he always was going against the quarterbacks that could score a lot of points. Drew Brees is always going to go. You scared for him going for 400 every game. Then you had Cam Newton that, everybody was still scared of Cam because, he's easily can go off. Same with, Jameis Winston was. Everybody want to talk about how much growth he was making, and then you had to face Aaron Rodgers. I just think the Falcons are clicking at the right time, at the right moment. Everything is really coming together, and everybody, if you really want to be honest, if you really got some ears to the sports game, a lot of people are comparing the Falcons to the Panthers of last year because, just hot team, quarterback having an outlier season, everything seems to be clicking, but I don't see Matt Ryan folding on the pressure. And there's another reason why I don't see Matt Ryan losing this Super Bowl. I'm going to tell you why. Julio Jones, like I said earlier, that guy is a monster. You put up 180 and 2 touchdowns, and guess what, everybody? He was on limited snaps.
Hey, so did Chris.
He was on. That's true. Chris Hogan, but Chris Hogan played more snaps than Julio. Julio's dealing with turf toe. If everybody wants to, you can't sneeze at turf toe. A lot of players really sit out because of turf toe because it's kind of a pain tolerance, but the pain is so excruciating that a lot of people
can't take off on it. You can't run your routes correctly.
Exactly. So. And what did he just do? Didn't he just burn somebody for a 73-yard touchdown? Mm-hmm. Like Julio is a monster, even when hurt. But everybody wants to say that Julio, because of injury, they don't want to give him the best wide receiver in the league. He is the best wide receiver in the league. You're 230. You run a 4.3. You're going to be hurt sometime. That hamstring going to act up sometime. But Julio is a monster. And ain't playing to stop him. Guess what? Have fun stopping Taylor Gabriel. Have fun stopping Sanu. Have fun stopping Coleman. Have fun stopping Freeman. Oh, and guess what? If you want to stop us, guess what? Matt Bryan is back there who can kick a 50-yarder, with his eyes closed because guess what? They're playing in a dome control environment. So they're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, I got the Falcons winning too. What it's going to come down to me personally, I feel the best pass rusher in this game is going to be Vic Beasley, but he has to show that. You can't look at regular season stats and be like, oh, this is going to be the best pass rusher. If he's not playing as the best defensive player on that field, the Falcons will not win this game. And that comes with stopping a run. Along with Brooks Reed, give a lot of credit to Brooks Reed. Well, he was always productive in Houston, but he's found the right fit. Matt Schaub is also, oh my goodness. But Brooks Reed,
about to get a ring.
Brooks Reed and Vic Beasley are going to be the keys to this game, along with Keanu O'Neal. Keanu O'Neal has to bring the pain. He's going to have to stop Martellus Bennett or even Chris Hogan because they got Chris Hogan running Gronkowski-like routes. That's where a lot of his yards came from. But you got to be able to contain the big plays. You can't give up flea flicker touchdowns like that. But you also – I really feel like Atlanta should easily put up, I want to say 30 points, easily. Possibly more. I think they can put up more, but I think they should easily get 30 points and be able to stop New England to 27.
But DeMarcus, the thing, let's talk about this for a minute. The thing I'm so scared about this game is it's not because Matt Ryan making go cold, maybe he start throwing interceptions. It's whenever you doubt the Patriots always win.
Every time.
Every fucking time. Because I'm gonna have to add that one too, because it just always amazes me, and it never ceases to amaze me that we sit up here and we talk about, we always, sweep the Patriots on the road. Oh, they always had the record that showed they were consistently great throughout the regular season and good in playoffs, but we always never talk about them or always call them saying, oh, they're going to make it to we always doubt them and say, oh, we think this team is going to beat them. They are the Spurs of the NFL, honestly. They keep their heads down. They don't have a lot of controversy. Yeah, you want to talk about the two. You want to talk about the two scandals that they had, but besides that, you really don't hear nothing about nobody else. Everybody plays their role, and they always play, they never overstep like, most teams allow, their wide receivers, do. Like, we're going to look at Odell and Antonio Brown. But let's be honest, Tom Brady is just Tom Brady. He's the guy that you have to worry about all the time. He's proven this year, in my opinion, how ridiculous the Deflategate was, honestly. If he didn't miss those 4 games, you want to be, truth be told, him and Matt Ryan would be neck and neck MVP. And how amazing a story would that be? Going in the Super Bowl 51, Matt Ryan and Tom Brady neck and neck for the MVP battle. That would be crazy. People don't give it. Sometimes it's just like he's taking a team. Let's think about this. There's no Gronk, inconsistent Chris Hogan, undersized Julian Edelman, a bunch of C-teams receivers, and Malcolm Mitchell and Amendola, and a show up every now and then tight end Martellus Bennett to the Super Bowl.
All right, it's spectacular what he's doing, but I still look at the history of the Super Bowl when you talk about Baltimore Ravens, the Giants twice, you talk about the Denver Broncos, you talk about the Seahawks. It's something about that underdog role in the Super Bowl that a lot of teams feed off on. And I think Atlanta, with the protection that they give him, Matt Ryan, and the caliber of football that he's playing right now, he should be able to cruise and put Atlanta back on the map and show us why he was named the NFL MVP. If he won't do it, then he's just going to be another mark on Tom Brady's resume. That's it. It's as simple as that. I mean, he either has to go out there and prove it, or he's going to be just like the rest of the quarterbacks, just like Kurt Warner, just like Jake Delhomme, just like Donovan McNabb, just like Russell Wilson.
See, the thing about it, I don't see. The thing that's funny about that is I don't see Atlanta being the underdog. Yeah, Vegas has the Patriots a 3-point favorite, but they just smoked Green Bay, and you know how much everybody's been eating up Aaron Rodgers over the past, whatever games that he's been hot. And, going into this Super Bowl, I feel like they are going to be the kind of favorites in a lot of people's mind just because their offense and, what people have seen over the past 2 games of the playoffs. Like these niggas average 40 points a game in the playoffs. That's crazy.
I think the Patriots. How can you be an elite team? Well, I'm not. This is just their first year, so they wasn't elite last year. But you place the Buccaneers on Thursday night, and you face the Saints on Monday night. Those are the only 2 primetime games you're given in a strong division. On top of that, those are the only 2 games. They didn't even flex one of their games. They were competing for the division for the last weeks of the season. They didn't flex none of their games to the forefront to put the Atlanta Falcons out there. The NFL looks at Atlanta as an underdog. If that was the Cowboys got flexed, didn't they?
But yeah, I mean underdog as in going into the game. Yeah, it's like the analysts and a lot of the people that the big heads in Vegas and stuff have Atlanta coming in as an underdog. But I'm talking about it feels like more people are pulling for Atlanta than the Patriots because there's still
they want to lose.
But look, there's still this notion of, you either you love the Patriots or they hate the Patriots. And, that's the thing that kind of it really annoys me because if you want to put aside your fandom, how about you just give this team some credit? Because it's like it's taboo to give them respect. Like it's taboo to give somebody respect that you dislike. Like I'm a Texans fan, but at the end of the day, I don't hate the Cowboys because I like 3 of their offensive weapons as in Dak, Dez, and Zeke. And you want to, so what? Like most people want to say, oh man, you're not a true fan because you like this other team. But it's like sometimes you put aside your fandom and you just give players respect. Like these people ball out day in and day out. Like I personally don't like LeBron James and Westbrook, but I can sit up there and admit that LeBron James is probably one of the greatest players I've ever seen, and Westbrook is one of the most talented players I've ever seen. But I still don't like them. I just recognize talent. It's like if you're a Patriots hater and you utter the words that Tom Brady is great, there's the sky's gonna fall. But you have to take this into account. These guys are going to their 7th Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
They won 4.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Mm-hmm. They lost 2 on fluke plays.
Mm-hmm.
This thing about this, them going to the Super Bowl the 7th time, that's better than 28 other teams in the league. And there's only 32 teams in the league.
Right.
That's crazy. The man just passed, like people don't look at this. He just tied with Joe Montana for the most 3 touchdown games in postseason history with 9. Just threw for 32 or 42. A franchise best 384 yards and 3 touchdowns. The man missed 4 games, and he still put up 3,500 and some yards, 28 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and finished 2nd in QBR behind what player? Matt Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive. Give Tom Brady some love. Like I don't understand this hate for Tom Brady and the Patriots. Like, yeah, they cheated a few times, but what person hasn't cheated before? I seen some people that made the dean's list in my college cheat a few times. Like, yo, it just happens. Human nature. You mess up sometimes. Sometimes you want to be too nosy. Sometimes you want to be too curious. You cheat sometimes. But at the end of the day, you take that away, they're still raw.
No doubt.
You take away the deflated footballs, they still pull up. What? Didn't they have 4 touchdowns against the Colts? In
the second half, yeah. In the second half after they changed the balls. Mm-hmm.
And you take away the thrown touchdowns, they still blow out the Colts.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Tom Brady at 39 years of age and no sign of slowing down. When last year you looked at Peyton Manning at 39 years of age, it looked like he was about to die in the Super Bowl.
He was looking dead.
So Tom Brady, is the greatest quarterback of all time. I've said this numerous times, and I've never been afraid to admit it. He's the best because he can surgically just rip apart your defense. If you in zone, he's going to find an open spot. If you in man, he's going to find a mismatch. Don't blitz him. If he check out that blitz, you might as well just lay down and just give him a touchdown. If you check out that blitz and he going to send one of those receivers deep, he can beat you at any facet of the game. But the only way to stop Tom Brady is to hit him in the mouth.
Why in the world was
Big Beasley still hit him in the mouth? I don't know. Well, Pittsburgh don't have the pass rushers like Houston had. And I'm not saying Houston would have been as competitive in that AFC Championship game because we seen what we did just the following week. But if it wasn't for Brock Osweiler turning the ball over 3 times, we at least forced Tom Brady into some bad throws and mistakes. Pittsburgh didn't do nothing. They set back, dropped back, and they just gave him all day in the pocket. He just dissected them up and down that field. Like, they didn't even touch Brady.
At all.
They didn't touch him at all. Like, you can't beat Tom Brady like that. You got to piss him off. You got to get him out the pocket. You got to put him on his ass. That's the only way you can win. If the Falcons don't put him on his ass, Brady is going to be winning his 5th Super Bowl, and there's nothing we can do about it. But if they can get some pressure on him and knock him around a couple of times, get him out of his spot, get him out the pocket just a little bit to where he don't just have time to dish off these timing routes at precise accuracy, they can take this game easily. It only takes the first quarterback to throw just to turn over, period. That's the team that's going to win. Whoever can force the first turnover.
Oh, that's true. But the reason why I think Atlanta's going to win, I think it's going to be either. I think the Patriots can get 28, like you said, maybe 31, but I see Atlanta getting anywhere from 35 to 45. Let me tell you why. If you watch that game when the Patriots played the Steelers, Big Ben was not touched at all. If Matt Ryan don't get touched, please believe. Guess what? Matt Ryan put up 200 yards of passing on blitz that the Packers was putting on him. That's crazy. On a blitz. So if he has time to throw the ball, what you think he's going to do?
Exactly.
He's going to dissect that Patriots defense just like Tom Brady's going to dissect the Falcons defense. But the only thing that the Falcons have over the Patriots defense is they have a decent pass rush, as you said, in Vic Beasley and Brooks Reed. And then you have some decent corners that can play opportunistic defense that, want to jump around or something like that. They could pick it off and take it to the house. So that's why I'm saying Atlanta can. The only reason I see Atlanta losing is if Atlanta gets in the way of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. They'll become their own worst enemy. Definitely. I know we haven't gotten to this subject yet, but I definitely have to say the biggest pickup in free agency had to be Alex Mack. Like the job he's doing, solidifying the offensive line, especially in the middle, nobody's touching Matt. And when you have that kind of player that comes from a losing organization in the Browns and gets an opportunity like this and shows that he appreciates winning, that can run on that offensive line. And, of course, a shout-out to Coach Morgan, Westfield coach, who has led this team to the Super Bowl, because that offensive line is everything for Matt Ryan. Without that protection, without the coaching from Coach Morgan, who was the best. Last year, they voted him as the best offensive line coach in the NFL. Without his coaching and without that consistency that Alex Mack brings at the center position, this team is not in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, man. Alex Mack, it seemed like he was the Browns, even though they weren't good when they had Alex Smith, they had one of the best offensive lines.
Yeah.
And when he left, it seemed like
Joe Thomas, yeah.
Yeah, and it seemed like when he left, it's like RG3, who else was back there?
Kessler.
Whoever else was back there. Cody Kessler, when they was back there, they were all on their face.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, like you said, it's offensive line, and both, the Patriots have a good offensive line, the Falcons have a good offensive line. Going forward, that's what a lot of teams are going to be build is their offensive line, because you see, if you have a good offensive line, you can kind of go all the way. Really, if you have your quarterback has time to throw, you can go far. I really can't wait to see what the Raiders going to do next year.
Ooh, they just got to get Carr healthy and get a consistent running game again. And they'll be back and popping.
They got 3 running backs to choose from.
Right. But, man, let's jump into the catch of the day. The player that – I ain't going to say player. The artist that we voted as the most improved rapper. His album, I Decided, drops February 3rd. this is another member of the 2010 freshman class. When you just really think about it, it was pretty impressive. I think it had J. Cole, OJ the Juice Man, Wiz Khalifa, a few other artists. And we already consider J. Cole as one of the greatest. So we definitely have to put Big Sean for that most improved category from his 2010 release. And Finally Famous was a very underrated album. A lot of hits on it, from I Do It, My Last, Marvin and Chardonnay, then the dance song, the ass song. He had some other classic hits like Mercy, Blessing, One Man Can Change the World. Kanye may be crazy, but he knows his talent. You know, from a Christian rapper who didn't cuss and rapped about abstinence and the danger of drugs to what he's become right now, Big Sean has turned his complete career around in less than 10 years, and he really is one of my favorite artists to listen to, man.
Let me be honest with you. So when Big Sean came out with his mixtapes, we were back in college. I think I was jamming J. Cole, Kendrick around that time. I was jamming some, Wale was hot at the time. But the thing about it was Big Sean had dropped that Finally Famous Volume 3 mixtape, and you could tell he had something special because his rhyme game was different. He rhymes like a run-on sentence. If you ever listen, it's like he's on a run-on sentence, but it's catchy. And that's the thing about Big Sean that I like, and I like that he's taken, and what's got him so popular is he has catchy songs, but he's always spitting some real shit in there, honestly. And let's be honest, Drake really bit Big Sean's his whole flow in 2009 that kind of put Big Sean back, because if you want to go listen, if you want to say that Drake has not changed his rap style, how about you go back and listen to his mixtape and then go listen to what that album, Thank Me Later or whatever he said the album was. His whole freestyle changed. And Big Sean right now is my favorite artist on the come up because he has the swag that Drake has that people are, like to gravitate to, but he's more talented than Drake. Like, they can both have a song about, like, Drake can have a song about shaking ass and some shit like that, and it just be corny as shit. Big Sean can have a song like that. Like, I Got the Moves, like that one song he has got out right now that, if you look at it one side, you're like, oh, that's a silly song. But if you listen, like this, he really be spitting on that song. Drake would have to do the same thing, but he would like dial his rap down to like third grade level reading, and it just be like, yo, and everybody would like it because he kind of got a catchy flow or something like that. But Big Sean is the same person to me, and I'm loving the transformation this dude has done from when we used to jam him in college. And there was those artists like Big Crit that didn't really blow up, that have popularity but didn't blow up to the limits like where Big Sean is at right now. And I'm just loving his maturation through the years, and it just seemed like he on a whole nother level, and he's getting to the point where we're going to have to start recognizing him as one of the forefronts of the rap game, with him, Kendrick, J. Cole. If you want to sprinkle in, you got to sprinkle in Drake, which annoys me. Then you sprinkle in a little bit of Wayne. People still like Wayne, but he's in that forefront, and he's really leading the rap game. Like, from like you said, Double XL. I'm not liking none of the new people, but
oh my god, this freshman class.
The thing is, I don't like the new people. I don't like the new people, and it's not.
I hate Kodak Black. I don't know what it is. I hate him. Kodak Black pisses me off so much.
He's a strange fellow. Something's really wrong with that guy. But the thing that's always crazy about these new people are they all sound the same. There's nobody who stands out. With Big Sean and that whole class is everybody had their own lane and their own different style. That's why you can see. That's why I said they're the forefront, because guess what? J. Cole was in that class. Wale was kind of in that class, even though it kind of filled out. Then you have the Big Seans and things that were who kind of stood out, but all these new people sound the same.
I don't really jam Wiz Khalifa like that, to be honest with you, but yeah, he had his own sound. You know what I mean? So he took over that wave, the whole Taylor Gang thing. Like it was cool. It was a cool little phase. I respect what he did as an artist.
Yeah, and then like of the new people, if you want to be honest, and since we're talking about Big Sean and we're talking about how he's kind of evolved and kind of taken a step towards one of the leaders of the game, let's talk about this dude who doesn't get enough attention. It's a man that's from Brooklyn, New York, and his name is Dave East. This dude is nice. And if you want to jam anybody from the new school or the new era or, any new music, jam Dave East, because this guy raps like he's been through something, but he makes it so relatable that you understand and you get a bit of a, it's like he's J. Cole with the wordplay, but he's deep like how Wale used to be. And you can kind of catch the references that he said. And his songs, the way he can put, he constructs a track is really impressive to me, because he can go from a hype record to a kind of a slow down record to kind of a, a thug out record or something like that. And I think everybody needs to check out Dave East. He's one of my favorites. And also another person that I want a lot of people to look at is Young M.A. Like, I know everybody, you have those people, the hip hop heads that don't believe in, they believe they give the women some respect and going hard, like your Missy Elliott's and back in the day, Trina, blah, blah, blah. They gave them respect as being good female rappers. But I think Young M.A. I know she's a gay female, but I consider her one of the best of the new rappers. I don't even put her in a female rapper category right now. Because she's like really going bar for bar with these dudes. Honestly, like she's out rapping Kodak Black and Uzi Vert and whoever else you want to throw in that pile of trash. She's really standing out, and because she's a woman, a lot of people like to knock her, or they don't feel manly listening to a woman who can outspit some of their favorite artists. But you need to give some people, it's time to break that mold. Like, we talk about change, how me and you talk about, and we try to get not too political in here, but you got to start removing the veil from your eyes, and you need to start seeing past certain things, because you can't see the beauty of anything if you always looking with clouded glasses. And you have to give people respect. Like we were talking about Tom Brady, you have to give this girl respect. She grinds just like you do. She grinds like everybody else. It's time for you to stop judging folks, and you might as well just give her a listen. I personally think she's good. I feel like she's gonna go far. So in 5 years, when she's all the next big thing, you can look back and say that we gave her a nice little shout out.
Bam, there you go, everybody. Just step outside your box. I know you may be accustomed to listening to certain things. Just step outside your box a little bit. You never know what you can bring into your mind, and you may be able to learn something new and something that you actually may like. You never know until you give it a try. But that has been today's catch of the day. Young M.A., Dave East, and our most improved rapper, Big Sean. No doubt, if y'all want to get in contact with us, y'all can find us on the Facebook page at K5 Radio. It's KFOB Radio. Also find us at K5Radio.com. Where can they find you on the gram, my man?
Yeah, they can find me on the gram, McGriff the Critic. That's McGriff _THA_critic. You can find me there. You can find me at Facebook and Marcus Griffin. And me and DeMarcus will keep you updated with the latest things going on around the league as we make this, we take this journey, and we hope to be on blast off in the next year or so. We want to be out there.
No doubt, no doubt. But as for now, this has been Fish and Grits, and you guys have just been served.
Y'all enjoy.